All right, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the UI5 and Fiori training sessions. In the last episode in UI5, we saw how to create custom control and how to create also the Google Map integration with the help of custom control in SAP Fiori. In today's class, we'll start with the introduction of one of the most important and most awaited topic from all of us called OData services. What is OData service? Let's try and understand that what exactly is the OData service. So by far inside of an SAP based three-tier architecture, you have SAP GUI. Then at the bottom, you have the application layer. And then finally, you have at the bottom, the database layer. So in the application layer, all your processing logic is executed, your ABAP program, everything gets executed in application layer. In your database layer, everything related to the data, RDBMS, your storage of data, read writing is being taken care. And SAPGUI is your presentation layer, which displays the output to the user and accepts input from the user. So this is the typical R3, so-called three-tier architecture in the world of SAP. Now what's happening is all of these three layers are slowly getting changed. They are getting evolved, and how they're getting evolved is the SAP GUI based conventional screens are getting converted to SAP UI5 and Fiori applications for user experience. And your new front end is your mobile device and your tablets. However, on the other side, your application server is also evolving. It is going more and more deeper. And there is also something called web application server, which was introduced long back inside of SAP application layer. What is the purpose of web application server? It is capable of listening to the HTTP requests. And now we also have a concept called SAP Gateway in place. Okay, we will be discussing about this concept in detail. And finally, you have at the bottom the database layer, which is nothing but your SAP HANA database, which is getting placed now inside of system. So SAP HANA is the database which is being placed as a primary database now on top of SAP application server. So this is what is getting changed in this world, new world of new technology, and that's why you see there's a demand, high demand of you to learn ABAP on HANA, S4 HANA, Fiori, UI5, Gateway, OData. These are all new concepts. Now, the only way by which Fiori can communicate to your SAP application server is OData, guys. This is the only and only way. You cannot call anything else. You can't call a BAPI, you can't call a CDS, so-called CDS view, you can't call a AMDP, you can't call a module pool program, you can't call a subroutine, you can't call an include program, not at all. The only and only communication which UI5 and Fiori makes a call to the OData service, makes a call to application layer using OData services. Now sometimes it also happens that in some companies there is no application server on ABAP, but they are also building native HANA applications, which is not covered as part of this course, where you don't have any ABAP server, any application layer, only and only you have SAP HANA database. In that case also, we build OData services inside of SAP HANA. We call them Access OData. So here also the only and only way of communicating is OData and Access JS, which is also a kind of a service which you can use to make a call from UI5 and Fiori. If you want to understand more about Access JS and OData related to database, which is SAP HANA, please subscribe to my HANA Access course. It's already available. I have recently started a batch on native HANA application development and Access.js, Node.js, programming with SAP Access and Classic and Access Advanced course. Okay, so this is the course which I have it regarding Access and Access Classic. So in this course I've taught there is no application server ABAP. It's purely on SAP HANA. We build Fiori applications using Access.js, server-side JavaScript, and Node.js, which is also kind of server-side JavaScript yeah, available inside of system. Okay, so that's the architecture, new architecture, where now there's no more um, a call which goes from front end to back end via other than HTTP call. And that's what your web application server takes care of. Inside of now this application layer also, there are enhancements which have been done by SAP, which we call it as gateway. Why we need gateway? So typically in any company which you will nowadays see, who are implementing S4 HANA or ABAP on HANA or latest NetWeaver releases, they would usually have something called a gateway server. So what does the gateway server does, and what does the backend server does? Now imagine a company who is already using SAP. Okay, so they are already using SAP and they are using ECC 6.0 whatsoever. And inside that ECC, they have something called their current application components. So they have application components, which essentially builds your software. They have all the required technical objects to build this application component, like classes. Okay, all the classes, all the interfaces, all the module pools, all the function modules, all the function groups, which has all the function modules, all the report programs, all the include programs, all these artifacts, all the smart forms. Yeah, everything is part of this application component. So this is how your current ECC is built. Your workflows, your business objects, everything is part of your ECC today. Okay, so your include programs, your modularization unit, your smart forms, your scripts, your idocs, your ALE, your BAPIs, your bodies, everything is part of this core ABAP ECC system. Now SAP comes up and say, hey, I have got this amazing Fury technology, would you like to give a try? Now sometimes what system does, administrator does, they not just have an ECC system, but they also have, let's say, another system, let's say CRM system for that matter. Okay, they may have a CRM system, let's say. So now also they have, let's say, a PLM system, or they have some other system, which are all SAP systems, different SAP systems. They have it in the business suite, and these are all the different systems what a company is using. Now, do you think it is a good practice to install the gateway new component for supporting OData in each individual server? Do you think it's a good practice to install the new server component for supporting OData in each individual server? Probably yes, you can, no problem, you can do it. And once you do that, each of the server becomes gateway enabled. Okay, it becomes gateway enabled. But sometimes what they can also do, they can create a completely new system to make this approach flexible and risk free. They put another system on top, and this is called your SAP gateway server, sometimes also known as Fury frontend server. Okay, this is what it is known as, Fury frontend server. And these are all your backend systems where your existing company data lies. Your mmd01, pa01, va01, me21, and all your current data lies in these systems. And on top you build a SAP gateway server. It's a new application layer, application server which you put. And anybody, how do you connect to SAP systems? What technique do we use in SAP to connect between two SAP system? Perfect answer. It's RFC. So you then use an RFC connection. RFC stands for remote function call, to be able to connect two of SAP system. Same technique which you use before you call your BAPI from a remote system, and this is called system alias. Okay, this connection which you create through RFC, you maintain it as a system alias, and now in this, from this front end system, you can make a call to any of the system based on your need. And then you will also implement your OData project over here. Okay, you build your OData project over here, and then you expose an OData service from this project on top. So you basically replicate the metadata of this OData project on top. It's just a metadata replication what you do it. Okay, and then you will create a service, OData service on top of it. So like this, in your company there will be multiple OData services which you will be having. Clear everyone? This is the typical approach in most of the companies these days. What you see is two servers. One is Fiori front end server, one is backend server. Backend server is your existing assets, existing BOs, existing includes, reports, data, classes, function modules, function groups, BAPIs, BADIs, SHDB, smart forms, scripts, idocs, ALEs, workflows, BOPF. Everything is part of your existing ECC asset, and on top you added another server where you now create a replica of your OData project. This OData project implementation we will learn in our course, and how to call different things to be able to expose the data. And then on top you create an OData service. This OData service is now an HTTP based service. We call it as REST based services, and that is what is consumed by now your new front end, which could be a desktop running the browser, it could be a tablet running the browser, it could be a mobile device running the browser. So that's what exactly what we do in the new architecture. This is our new architecture of SAP, guys. This is our new architecture. Sometimes some companies say, I am completely fine, I don't want to invest in a new server itself. So what they also do is they install the gateway component. The name of the gateway component is GWFND. Just for your information, you don't need to know as an application developer, you are a basis consultant, but however you can just go check. GWFND stands for Gateway Foundation. This software component must exist in your system to be able to work with gateway. So maybe just quickly show you to my S4 system. I go to my system, SAP system, I connect to my SAP system and just show you. Oops, one second. Yeah, and I'll just show you that. Go to systems, go to status, and you will find details, and now you'll find here a component called SAP GWFND. You can see, guys, SAP GWFND Gateway Foundation 7.4. It's on NetWeaver 7.4. Bare minimum you should be 7.4 Gateway Foundation. My system is currently on 751. You see the release information here. It's on 751 for basis. NetWeaver 7.51. It's an S4 HANA server. And now you see here the gateway foundation is 7.4. This component must be there in your system. So if you go to your company today and you will find that SAP GWFND is installed, which means you can create OData service in this server. Clear everybody? A lot of people come to me, Anubhav, I need server access. Why you're wasting your money? You can use your company server already, right? Why do you want to waste money? You can use your company server. If you already have this GWFND inside of your company, you need to be on NetWeaver 7.4 and above, and then check this component, and then you can build OData service in your company for free. You don't need server. However, those who need server, I can offer and arrange this server. There are two servers I have it available. So there are two servers I have available, two options I will give you guys. Server number one for pure OData and UI5. OData and UI5. It's a remote desktop. Okay, it's a remote desktop access only, guys. You will get a virtual machine. So I'll just show you connecting to this virtual machine quickly. How does it look like? So it will be looking like something of this sort. So just connect and show you. So oops. Ah, yeah. So you'd get a virtual machine like this in which you can go and practice things. Okay, this is how you will get everything. You should be able to do it only with the virtual machine. You need to go inside the machine, you need to run web id here, you need to run everything inside of this. That's option number one. Simple gateway server with ECC, what you will get. That's option number one. you have to always connect to MSTSC remote desktop and work. So that's why it becomes little hard to work with this server, but it comes with a price band of 1500 INR per month per user. This is option number one. Option number two is a complete S4 HANA stack with S4 HANA 1610 on-premise edition. The beauty of this server, you can connect from your local computer. You can connect from your local computer like I did here. You see, from my local computer, I have connected. This server allows you to also connect using ADT, ABAP development tools in Eclipse. You can connect to the server from your local ADT tools. You can build CDS views in this. You can build AMDPs in this. You can practice complete S4HANA scenarios. You can connect to Fury Launchpad also from your local computer. That's the beauty of this server. सब कुछ दे दिया इन लोगों ने. Everything is available. You can connect to HANA database instance from remote desktop, not from local computer. This part only. HANA DB also you get an access. If you are practicing SAP HANA, you can also practice SAP HANA in this server. So it's a complete end-to-end S4 HANA stack 1610 OP with lots of analytical apps, Launchpad, theme designer. Everything is there in this server. An amazing server which they offer, and this will cost little bit higher, 2500 INR per month per user. These are all the two options you have it, whichever you think. For at least current course it काम इससे भी चल जाएगा, लेकिन काम ही चलेगा. Okay, only it will just go. You can just practice. But if you really want real good experience, also I've posted lots of tutorials on CDS views on YouTube for free. Those who don't want to attend my ABAP on HANA training, those who want to practice CDS views and stuff like that, then you can go with this server on the right hand side. The best is check out your company server where you are working. If they have their gateway foundation, use the company server. Why to waste money? And I would say not wasting money. Learning is not wasting money. It's all an investment. If I wouldn't have invested long back on my learning, I wouldn't have reached here. So it's all investment. So don't think it's a waste. It's all investment. Even I've spent 99,000 rupees on Amazon cloud account for SAP servers some time back. So it's not like it's waste. It's all your learning. This is the biggest problem. We don't invest in our learning. Yes. So also there is one video if you want to set up your own server in Amazon cloud, which will be relatively expensive. It's an ABAP on HANA instance. So you can also watch out my video on how to set up your ABAP server. So it's already there. Come to website, click on this link. It opens another website, and there you will find the details for ABAP on HANA. Click here, set up your ABAP on HANA server. So here also your gateway, everything will work. So here I've taught how to set up your free, I mean, not for free actually. Amazon will charge you like 60 rupees per hour, which goes up to, if you're using, let's say 20 hours, probably this server, then like 1200 rupees. Sometimes my bill on an average basis was 6000 rupees per month for this server which I used in the past. So guys, it's expensive. Over a period of time it keeps on and on becoming expensive. However, good learning. You guys can go through this video and set up your own server in Amazon cloud. Can practice OData services in this server also. So I've taught everything how to set up the things on your own yourself. Okay guys, that's your choice. All the choices are there with you. I'll also take this link of this video and put it here. So that's option number three, of course, but I don't opt usually for these options because it gets more and more expensive for many of us. Okay, so this is one option called setting up server in Amazon web account. Okay, so better to go with these vendor options if you don't want to use your company server. It's my personal experience that cost wise they are good, especially this one. I see 2500 is a very good server you're getting with lots of features into it. This one is also okay, but काम ही चलेगा इससे. केवल OData you can practice, and of course UI5 Fury also you can practice with the connecting to OData service, but your choice is yours. If you get this, then you can access from local computer also. Okay, from your local computer you can access everything except HANA DB. Everything else you can access from local computer. Okay, so you can see here the cost is written already in INR. So those who are interested, just drop me an email. I'll get your users created. If you want directly the number of server guy, I will give you that. You can contact them. They will charge you for this 2000 rupees for this one, first one, and for this one they will charge you 3000 because you are going as an individual. I go as onlinefurytrainings.com, and for that I buy bulk users, like 20 users I bought in this server. So I got a discount of 500 INR per user. I already bought 20 users for my ABAP on HANA students. So that's why there's a discounted price they offered me. However, in future, if more user increases, we can also ask for more discounts. At the moment, this is the price they have given me. I can directly give you the contact number of server. You can go to them, ask them what is the price they are quoting, and then compare and then take it if you want. Okay, so this is how the about the server option. Let's come back to our topic. So typically this layer, this component SAP GWFND must be installed in your system to be able to work with OData services. Now the question comes, what is OData service? Anubhav, what is OData service? We don't even know OData service. We are just pass out from college. What is an OData service? Okay, now as you all know, over the internet all the communication happens via HTTP protocol. Okay, in this whole world guys, if you see, everybody follows protocol. When you travel to a foreign country, you can't just escape from airport just the way you do it in India, because you are an Indian citizen. In India you can go to any airport, Chandigarh, Delhi, wherever you like. You can escape out quite easily without doing anything. But if you travel to a foreign country, what is that process extra is there for you? Anybody? What is the extra process for you when you travel to a foreign country? What is the extra process you need to go through? You need to go through visa, or I would say immigration process. Absolutely yes, you need to go through that, because that's a protocol. Okay, that's a protocol. So everywhere there are protocols. Similarly, via communication, in our schooling days we had, sorry, in college days we had a chapter called networks, software networks. In that we learned multiple variety of protocols: HTTP, TCP, IP, FTP. Yeah, these are all different protocols. SMTP, send mail transmission protocol. So any service which you consume on internet has to follow certain protocol. So one of the best protocol which is followed over internet is HTTP, or HTTPS means secure. This is the protocol what we follow to be able to communicate over internet. So OData service actually it follows HTTP protocol, and that's the reason, that's the beauty, that majority of the companies are using OData. Not just SAP, but majority of the companies, be it Microsoft, be it Google, be it Amazon, they all use OData services. Is widely adopted. It's not a SAP concept, it's a general concept guys. So it uses HTTP and HTTPS protocol to be able to communicate over internet. Okay, this is what OData service really does for us. So now if I just quickly go ahead and explain you what exactly is an OData service. So let's get started with the very basic introduction. Don't think that I will go something in advance. For me, you are a fresher in OData. Okay, so this is the way I'm going to explain you what is OData. So OData is a stands for Open Data Protocol. Okay, Open Data Protocol. OData stands for Open Data Protocol. It was initially created by a company named Oasis. Okay, this was the company who created this protocol. Oasis is the company who created protocol, OData protocol, for communicating over internet. Later, it was acquired by Microsoft. So it's a Microsoft product. Okay, and it has become a very known protocol to be able to communicate over internet. It is based on REST principle. What is REST principle? REST stands for representational state transfer. Okay, that's what the REST protocol is all about. Representational state transfer. Now typically in an SAP system, whenever you are communicating, what exactly happens in an SAP system? So whenever you connect via SAP GUI to an application server, a session gets created. Anybody, which is this session name? What do you call this session? Whenever a user from the SAP GUI connects to application layer, what is this session named as? What is this session named as? Anybody? Have you heard about? No, not LUW. No, 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 no. Incorrect answer. What is this session known as? Have you heard about ABAP memory and SAP memory concepts in ABAP? Guys, time for basic ABAP training. So this is called ABAP session. ABAP session is per specific to user. Okay, it's specific to one user, guys. ABAP session is specific to one user, one particular user. That's what ABAP session is all about. So an ABAP session gets created per user inside of application layer. That's what exactly happens. It has an ABAP session gets created, and then over a period of time, if you are inactive, this gets timed out. Okay, so every time there is a state which persists inside of the system. So you see, when you're, as long as you're connected, there is a state which persists. Okay, but now here if you see, the representation state transfer is actually stateless. Why we call it as stateless? Why we call it as stateless? Because the moment you make a call from OData service, a session gets created. Okay, session gets created and it does its processing, and once the processing is over, the session gets destroyed immediately. You are not all the time holding a session with the backend. Is that clear to everybody? Just the way when you do it in SAP GUI, you're all the time, as long as you're connected, you're holding a session with SAP GUI. But here the session is fraction of minutes or seconds. As long as your OData is processing something in backend, that is the time when the session gets created and destroyed after that. So it's always request response. You send a request comes, it creates a session, it does all the processing. Once you prepare the response, you send the response back, and that's it. After that, session is no more persisted. That's why it's called stateless. Is that clear, everybody? What is state and what is stateless? OData is a stateless representational state transfer protocol, REST based protocol. It doesn't have a state at any point of time. It doesn't have a session. Those who worked with Java, we have a concept called enterprise Java beans, EJB. When you connect to a bank website, you must have observed this while doing an online payment. In bank website, when you connect, there is a session which gets created inside backend, isn't it? After some period of time, let's say you open a bank website, you log in, and after 10 minutes, if you see, after 10 minutes, if you see, what will happen? If you try to click on some button, it will time out, right? Have you observed bank session timeout? Why timeout? Because that's a security feature. They create a session in the backend for your user for creating a secure environment. Okay, secure environment, keep the session active as long as the user is there, as long as user is working. Okay, and over a period of time there is a timeout of the session, if, and that's managed completely by enterprise Java beans, EJB programming. Those who know an ABAP, or in ABAP, sorry, Java, though in ABAP programming we have ABAP session which is created by ABAP application layer. So if you talk about OData is stateless, the call goes in, it does the processing, session gets created, it does the processing. Once the processing is done, you get the response back, and there is no session which persists anymore inside of backend system. Is that clear, everybody? What is happening here in as compared to the previous approaches, as compared to the previous protocols, what exactly is happening in this approach? So it's all session based. Okay, clear, everybody? What exactly is OData protocol is doing? Okay, now coming here, why OData service? So if you want to read data from database, you got to write complex to complex queries, isn't it? If I want to talk to this database in ABAP, we used to write select star from this, right? And tomorrow, if I have more servers and different variety of database, I would accordingly probably write my code for these databases. Now, OData actually abstracts you from the query language, from SQL. So the medium with which these two communicate is SQL. OData is abstracting you from SQL. You don't need to learn SQL to work with OData, because OData service, you just need to know as a UI developer what is the OData. You don't need to know about SQL programming, SQL language at all to be able to consume OData. But if you want to build OData yourself, probably you should know SQL for this application layer. If you're building OData using Java, you need to use Java Olingo framework, OData 4J framework, and stuff like that. If you want to use .NET also a reusable library for OData creation. And if you're using ABAP, then we have gateway server to be able, and ABAP programming to be able to code the OData service, and you need to know SQL. But as a consumer point of view, look at guys, it's a point of view. If you look at from UI developer point of view, do you need to know SQL programming? Do you need to know select statement? Just from the point of view of a UI developer. If you look at from a UI developer, you don't need to know SQL. You just need to know OData service, how does it work, and Fiori UI5 coding using JavaScript. That's it. Rest all complexity for you is hidden behind the scenes, and this is what ABAPer does. Typically in a company, you have a ABAPer who does this part, and you have UI developer who does this part. Clear everybody? This is what typically have in a company. So there is somebody called a batsman, and there is somebody called a bowler. But in our course, we will be focusing both on batsman and the bowler. So we are looking here the batsman part and the bowler part both in our course. So right now I'm here at the batsman part. So batsman right now just know batting. So batting is your OData. That's what the batsman should know at this point of time. Now let's go back and try and understand. So we saw the advantage of OData. It abstracts you from SQL programming. You don't need to know SQL. It's an industry standard. That's why every company is now using. It's an open source, which means you don't have to spend licensing fee to work with OData service. It's free. It comes under Apache 2.0 license. It's free, absolutely free. So you don't have to worry about it. That's another advantage of OData service. And so these are all the couple of advantages of using OData service. Now, what exactly is an OData service? So it's based on HTTP protocol. So whenever you're working with OData service, it's based on HTTP protocol, which means you can call it from internet. You can call it from your browser, guys. That's the beauty. You can call it from browser. It's based on, always remember, it's always based on request response. So there is this client. Client is nothing but could be a browser or a Fiori application running in mobile. And there is this server, which could be SAP server or a server which is Tomcat running a Java application. You can't call a BAPI directly from Fiori. You have to code the BAPI call inside of your class which you implement for OData, which I will teach you in the next class. Right now, just understand the OData basics. So now come here, client. It sends a request and you get a response. Now the request is always of type HTTP request. Okay, and then you inside of request there are multiple variety of request types, like what is the purpose of your call. Okay, that's what the request type, and then you get a response. So if I just quickly draw this request response, so what type of request for what purpose? So request type and purpose. So there is a get request to read the data. There is a post request to create new data. There is a delete request to delete existing data. There is a put request to update the data. And then there is a merge request to read and update. These are all the most popular requests which we work with inside of an OData service or any HTTP request. Clear guys, what are all the types of request? And then you get a response. The request and response usually follow certain formats. So the most popular formats are JSON formats in which you send the request, and the another is XML format. These are all the two formats, data type formats, which you follow to be able to communicate via OData service. Clear everybody? The format, the types of request, and the format in which you will communicate. Remember guys, this golden rule: whenever you confuse, remember the golden rule: request, response, request, response, request, response, request, response, request, response. That's the architecture of OData. You send a request, you get a response, you send a request, you get a response, you send a request, you get a response. So, and then there are different variety of requests which you can send. So you can create, read, update, and delete data. Okay, you can create, read, update, and delete data, and that's what called crude. So you might have heard developers talking in meeting rooms, crude kar raha hai kya, crude kaam kar raha hai kya, crude implement kar do. It means they are planning, or they are saying we want to implement create, read, update, and delete. This is what your developers, your technical consultants around you are talking. Crude, 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 crude. What the hell is this crude? Crude means create, read, update, and delete. You want to implement create, read, update, and delete using OData services. Is that clear, everybody? Request, response, types of request, and what is crude. Now let's have a look at one very simple OData service. How does an OData service look like? How does it work? What exactly we do get when we consume this? How do we consume the data from OData service? So how does an OData service look like? It's a typical service. Now don't confuse with SOA based service. In SAP we have also SOA based service. We call them web services. In WebDynPro you might have used it. WebDynPro based SOA services are different. OData service is different. Many people work with WebDynPro, they get confused, they compare OData with SOA. No, your conventional web services are different, completely different, guys. This is different, that is different. Okay, so what is an OData service typically has? OData service has the very first thing called OData service document, and second you have OData metadata document. Okay, the very first thing you have is OData service document, and then you have OData metadata document. What is service document? The service document gives the information about all the available data sets. Data sets means I want to access data, let's say for material, for sales order, for purchase order. For each of these data set, I have something called an entity set. Do you remember, guys, in JSON chapter I taught you an entity set which encapsulates all the data? In our Fury class, we learned about fruits, yeah, fruits, suppliers, cities, all those were entity sets. Yeah, and inside of those entity sets we had data. Like fruits ke andar we had different fruits, city suppliers we had different suppliers. Those were all entity sets. That's exactly the concept here. You have something called data sets or entity sets. All your crude operation, entity sets. Clear, everybody? All your crude operations which you are performing are always and always performed by entity sets. Is that clear to everyone? What is an entity set? Do you remember in the list control, what is that we used for binding the list control? Anybody? When we did bind items with the list control, what is that which we used in fruits example? Anybody? Do you remember the path with which we binded all our items of the list control? Anybody? Do you remember the path with which we binded our list control with? Yes, we binded it with slash fruits slash entity set name. We binded, and list automatically read the data from that entity set. Clear, everyone? That's what exactly we have done. So now that's about your OData service document, gives you the list of all the entity sets, and then comes is a metadata document. This gives the detailed information of how entity sets are built. So it gives you the metadata information, like each entity set is created by entity type, guys. Okay, each entity set is created by entity type, Okay, you use entity type, and using entity type you create entity set. Clear everyone? You create entity set using entity type. So that's how your entity sets are built. Entity sets are entity types are structures of data. Example, material type has material number, material group, material category, material quantity, material stock. All these are properties of material data type, material type, entity type. And using this material and type set, we create an entity set out of it. Clear everybody? What is an entity? So complete information about what your OData service holding is held by entity type. And using entity type, we create entity sets. Not just that, it also provides semantics. Entity type also provides semantics for each property, like data type. What type of data type this field is? What type of length it holds? If it is a decimal, then how many decimal points it will go up to? What is the max length? What is the label for the field? All that is provided by OData metadata document. You can also enhance this metadata document using SAP annotation concept. Okay, I will not go deep in this concept at all. In fact, that's covered more in my S4 HANA training, how to create OData annotations, how to create these annotations inside a system using CDS, and use these annotations to build your Fury analytical application, smart filter application. It's not part of our current course, but just for information I am telling you. Here material type will be entity set. Material type is entity type, not the set. You create a material set as an entity type, entity set. This is actually entity type, guys, and entity set will be material set actually. Clear everyone? That's what exactly we have it. That's what OData service. Let's have a look at free OData service available on internet. So there is free OData service which is available on internet. For those who don't want any server access, you can use that in OData service, but only for read operations. You can't use it for update, create, delete. It's only for read operations. There are two options I'm telling you. How can you use free OData services available on internet? The first comes is odata.org. Okay, which actually, if I talk about the URL, http services.odata.org. This is where you get your first free OData service, option number one. Second is a free access to SAP Gateway Server, guys. SAP offers a free access to SAP Gateway Server only for read scenarios. You can use that also only for read scenario. It's called ES4 and ES5. These are all free SAP servers available for you to set up, at least for our training. For majority of the OData part, you can also use this absolutely free OData servers available from SAP on internet directly. So just go to internet, search for SAP ES5, which is latest, but I would prefer ES4. Okay, I would prefer ES4 because there are issues with sometimes with some OData service with ES5. I would prefer ES4. ES4, however, will become obsolete over a period of time, but yet you can continue with ES4. So you can see here SAP ES4 devcenter.com. This is the URL. Similarly, it will be SAP ES5 devcenter.com. Go there, and now you see it launches ES4 here. Yeah, you can connect to this. First we need to let's create a new user in ES4. So let me see, ES4 is being replaced by this retire in year 2018. That's okay, at least we can continue with this currently. And now see, going to the website here, register. So take this website from here, SUP sign in forms. Okay, take this website link, I'll also put it in our PPT, from to register for a new free user on internet in this SAP server. What an amazing thing, guys. So nobody will teach you these things because this all comes with experience and a lot of exploration on internet. For me it took years and years to explore things, but for you, you get it because I already did it for you. Okay, come inside, just log in with your SAP ID provider authentication. You can see I'm just logging it for first time. So I have given you all options, guys, for server. Choice is yours. You need to make a choice. From my side, I gave all options for the servers. Now I've read and understood the terms and condition and just say register. So it's connecting me to ES5. You see, it has given me a unique ID also. I will take this unique ID and store it somewhere in my notepad. Okay. So don't use my ID, create yours. It's free, guys. Okay. I just save it on my desktop. ES5 user. Okay, I'm saving it on my desktop. Now it will show me my first password. However, for security reasons, I'm just pausing my video and I'll just say show password button, and I've got my password, guys, which I will copy from here. Okay, I will copy from here. I have copied my password now, and I will come back here to the system and change here to es5devcenter.com, and it will open a window in browser for log me into ES5 server. However, that is not much of use while logging this server from here, guys. It's not much of use actually. Okay, because you will not be allowed to build any OData service. You will not be allowed to change anything in the server. You can just log in and check it and also reset your password. That's the only thing you can do with this. Of absolutely nothing you can do in this server. But yes, it also offers free OData service which we will be using in our project. Okay, so this is another option for OData if you want to do it for read scenarios, guys. Clear, everyone? So let me enter my password and username. Oops, I did something wrong. And now I'll enter my username which got created. You all can create a free account, and now hopefully it will ask me your password change for first time. Very good. So I will put my existing password and I will put my new password which I will not share with you. That's a secret. Okay, and also change, and I will now see it locks me into my SAP server. Name password incorrect. I think it's mismatching. Let me be careful. I'm bad in typos, bad than anybody here. Okay, now I enter it correctly, and let's see if it does the magic for me. No, current password. I am not pasting user. I am pasting the password only. Oops, sorry, I am voice pasting and I forgot now the user password, guys. So I got to reset it. I'm so sorry. So let me just go back and try and reset my password, which would then trigger an email. Oh my god, that's too much of work. Okay, maybe I will reset it tomorrow, and then I will show you logging in into this system because it would now trigger an email for reset. However, let me just quickly show you how do you reset. By the time I would get an email for resetting my password, so you got to go to the same link which I copied in PPT. So the same link is there for resetting the password as well. So come to the same link, and it will automatically locks me in and understand my user because I've already logged in, and I say reset password. So it would now say trigger an email to my email ID for resetting the password, which I will later point of time in the day I will connect, and I would just reset my password before I come in the next class. So all of you, request you to please update this, register a user in ES5, and please try and connect to this ES5 system today. Okay, then coming to the next part, the basics of OData. Let me just show you also the second option, which is services.odata.org. odata.org. Okay, press enter and it would now load. You see it is loading free OData services for you. Maybe we'll go with the Northwind service. I click on this service and now can anybody guess what is this? Anybody? What do you call this? What it has loaded? What do you call this? Anybody? No, not XML. Yeah, it looks like an XML format, correct, but what you call this thing? It's XML, absolutely. No, this is not metadata. This is your service document, guys. Just now I told you that there's something called service document. So system will now show you service document. So this is what exactly it is. A service document, guys. It's a service document, okay? So this is what is loading. It's service document. You can see the entity names, entity set names, categories, customer demographics, customers, employees. These are all what? Anybody? What are all these things? Anyone? What is service document includes? Who will tell me? Just now I taught you. What is service document includes? What are all these things? Anyone? These are all entity sets. Okay? These are all
entities.
entity sets. Remember, entity sets. Don't say entity, don't say entity type. These are entity sets. इसको रट लो, भूलना नहीं इसको कल से. कल से अगर भूल गए तो कुछ नहीं समझ में आएगा, रट लो इसको. If tomorrow onwards if you forget this, you will not understand single bit of it. Believe me, you will not understand single bit of it. Okay, mesmerize, remember it, memorize it completely. This is an entity set and this is a service document. 100% of student, those who don't pay attention to this part, they will fail to create OData service, they will fail to consume OData service. Nothing will work out. Remember, very 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 important, this is service document and this is entity sets. These are all entity sets. Clear everybody? This is a service document and these are all entity sets. What is the purpose of entity sets? What do you do with entity sets? Anybody? What do you do with entity sets? What is the purpose of entity sets? You do crude. Perfect answer, Raji. You do crude with entity sets, create, read, update and delete. That's what the entity sets are used for. Perfect. Now I will show you accessing the metadata of OData service. So I go on the top and I will put now here a little bit of text to show me the metadata, show me the properties, show me the entity types of each entity set and put dollar metadata on the top and press enter. It now loads the metadata document of the service. This is not service document, this is metadata document. You can see here metadata. So you see category, you see customer demographic, customer, all these things you see it here. Inside that you will find the key field for customer entity type. This is your entity type. Again I will say this is entity type now, guys. This is not entity set. You see entity type, this is an entity type now. This is an entity type. It's a blueprint of your entity set. It's a structure of your entity set which tells you what is the key field and what are all the different properties, what is all the semantics of each of the properties, like its name, the data type, whether it is nullable false, maximum length, field length, unicode convertible. All these properties are its data types, its semantic of each of the property. This is typically created with a database table. If you have a database table or structure, we create using that, these entity types. In Java it is created using a bean class. So in EJB if you work, then you will find something called bean, Java bean. So bean class, with the bean class we create it in Java, or sometimes if we use JPA, we create it using object relationship model, ORM. So if you want to learn how to create OData service using Java Olingo framework, please subscribe my HANA Cloud platform training. I have taught how to create OData service in Java. Many times it may be a requirement in your company that you don't have ABAP at all. You have pure Java. How to create OData with Java using ORM concepts, Eclipse link library, Java persistence API, then you have Hibernate framework. So a lot of things are there in Java to be able to create OData services on top of Java. So amazingly designed content, amazing course content. I will give you whatever you want, but you need to have guts to take it from me. Get me your challenge, get me the problems, I will give you all the knowledge, complete stack I worked in my career, everything. .NET technology, different variety of operating systems, about 25 programming languages I know by far, 25 programming languages, and about 17 scripting languages, starting from Linux shell scripting, bash shell, SSH shell, Ruby, Perl, Python, every programming language I worked with in my life, starting from the knowledge of kernel programming to C, to C++, to Java, to core Java, to advanced Java, to ABAP and OOPS ABAP, to WebDinfo, to UI5, to JavaScript, to Node.js, to Access.js, to Ruby, any programming language you would see in your life, I have already worked with it. And not just work with it, I have built at least one or two POCs, those even they are used less, but I've created them and worked with them. So you need to have that guts to take knowledge from me. I am ready to give it to you. So bring it on, whatever challenges you have it, and there I will propose you the right solution for your right problem. Okay, so that's your service document. It includes complete metadata, the semantics, the property information, and the data type, the metadata information about each of your entity type. Is that clear, everybody? So we will end our class here. So I would request you to please have a look at it till here and try and understand. And also will tell you an OData service which is available inside of this gateway server. Once you connect to this gateway server, there's an OData service called NW basic underscore demo. This is the OData service we will be using to be able to work with it. So in tomorrow's class, I will show you some deep dive inside multiple variety of operations inside of OData. So please at least test these URLs. That's an exercise for today. Create your users in ES5 system, SAP ES5 system, which is free, and log into your ES5 system by resetting your password and just stay connected with it. And then maybe in tomorrow's session, we will start deep dive inside OData concepts like different variety of get operations, and then we'll slowly move to creating our first OData service in ABAP using ABAP programming. ES5 can, I don't think so from local Sabgo you can connect. They only offer an HTTP port to connect. I don't think so with local we can connect. However, you can find details. They will send out an email, detailed email. SAP will send it to you. You can also, I think, connect. But what will you do connecting to such an SAP server which in which you don't have any authorizations? You would only be able to go and see nice SAP GUI menu. That's it, nothing else. You don't have any rights to go inside anywhere else. Even you connect to it, nothing you can really do it. But yes, this will help us to read data. You will not have any transaction authorization in ES5 server. Okay, you would have only authorization to read data using OData service from that server. That authorization we all have, and that's enough for us to be able to do read scenarios with OData with ES5. Okay, otherwise I wouldn't have spent 20 to 20 25,000 45,000 on OData servers with these vendors. Okay, so if it would have been there, I wouldn't have spent money getting these servers, getting 9,000 rupees on Amazon server. My last month bill was about 12,000 for Amazon server, because yeah, so I wouldn't have spent this much on these things. Okay, already I'm spending because I think there is a need for it, because ES5 doesn't really solve my purpose. Okay guys, do I need to do any setup in my company SAP server? Don't touch your company server, just go and check if you have the gateway foundation component installed in your server, and that's it. You can then use your server. Okay, Nagarjun asking what is a CAL server? CAL stands for Cloud Application Library, which is provided by SAP to be able to build or install any SAP server remotely in a remote machine. Okay, in a remote machine you can install it. So you can go to cal.sap.com, and here you would see ready to use appliances provided by SAP for you to try out directly in cloud. Suppose I want to experience how success factor works. I want to experience how S4 HANA works. I want to experience how ABAP on HANA works. Okay, so these things, if you want to experience Then you can use SAP Cal to set up your server in Amazon. Please watch out my video. I've already given the link into our PPT. Please watch out this. You will get a complete idea of what is Cal, how to set up your server in Cal using Amazon or Microsoft Azure. Here SAP won't charge you for their services, but Amazon will charge you for a computer running in the cloud, which is on hourly basis. For ABAP on HANA Developer Edition, they charged me 60 rupees per hour. Last month my bill was 12,000 for this server. I used it extensively, the Cal server, for my internal learning and development purpose. That's why I got this big bill. So those who are just want it for practice, I would say this option is much better comparatively. A medium option, not really good, very good configuration at this price band. This one has less configuration. However, our at least our this current training scenarios will be covered using this. But if you really want a good your company like experience, go for this server. Very good server. I personally use this very often. In fact, the pizza application which I built in Anubhav learning series on my video, after completing this training, this is your next destination, guys. You all need to watch these Anubhav learning series videos. Here I have built an end-to-end POC using SAP Fiori and OData service, completely end-to-end. You will get a complete end-to-end POC built yourself on Anubhav learning series. Complete source code also available for all of you. So that to build this, I've used this server which I'm showing you here, this S4 HANA server, 2500 per month wala server. So you will be able to build it completely the way I built it in Anubhav learning series. Do you have any YouTube video on connecting XSJS application, creating Fiori app? Yes, I do have. I've recently posted a video of creating a chatbot. I don't know if I showed it to you guys. Chatbot is like, when you are going to a travel website and you say hello, there is a chat box at the bottom, and then it pops up and it suddenly say, hey, hi, this is Reena, how may I help you, sir? So there is no Reena sitting the other side. Don't think that there is a Reena sitting. It's a computer. It's a computer who is talking as a Reena to you. It's a chat bot. And then you say, I want to travel to Mumbai. Then what it does, it automatically fires a query in the database. By reading it, they use something called artificial intelligence, which is also so called as machine learning libraries, with which they fire a query and they will propose you automatically some options, the chatbot. So I've created a chatbot using XSJS with the Fiori application. Please watch out my video on Anubhav on my website exclusively. This is the one on XSJS programming with Fiori application development. Here I've created a chatbot. I'll just quickly show you how does it look like. So a complete Fiori application we had built on top of XSJS. You see I'm coding this JavaScript view here on Web IDE, and then just quickly show you how does it functions. So you can see here, wow. So you can see here when I start, I get a search field where I will type in something and it goes into my XSJS program. XSJS then talks to IBM Watson library, which is a machine learning library. It understands what am I writing, and then it accordingly prepares the response and talks to me. So you see, initially system says hello mob5, which is my username, and then I will type in something. I will type in something in the chat window, and after I type something, it goes into the XSJS, my server-side JavaScript program, and then it gets me the response back automatically. So you see, I say hello, system says hey. Okay, then I go inside and again I type something else in the search field. I will go and I will tell the system, say how are you, press enter, and you say system responds me fine. Yeah, so that's the magic of XSJS server-side JavaScript with IBM Watson machine learning library and client-side JavaScript to code a Fiori application deployed completely on SAP HANA. No ABAP is required here. It's completely a native HANA application development. My another course which I've recently started, where I'm teaching XSJS, Node.js, XS Classic, XS Advanced, HANA Stack, server-side JavaScript programming, native HANA application development, HANA repository concepts, Web IDE, module-based programming. You see, who created you? It says Anubhav Oberoi created me. Yeah. So that's the beauty of this chatbot. You are typing, you're chatting, and Reena is sending you response. There's no literally Reena sitting the other side. It's a chat box. So next time When you watch a website, a travel website or some website where there's a chatbot at the bottom which says, hello, hi, sir, this is Srinivas. How can I help you? It's not a real Srinivas, it's a chatbot, guys. What are you doing? Nothing much. That's what the chatbot is doing. You must have heard about Siri concept in iPhone. That's also an artificial intelligence. It's a voice operated artificial intelligence. Thanks to machine learning and artificial intelligence world, which is growing very, very fast and mesmerizing user with completely new experience. I think XSGS application, but how can we create a Fury app? It's a Fury app. Front end is always Fury. XSGS is back end, guys. XSGS is not used for front end. XSGS, you can't create a user interface. User interface is created using client side JavaScript. XSGS stands for server side JavaScript, which means a program which runs on server side, not on client side, guys. Client side only is Fury, which is Java, which is our current JavaScript. Okay, so I have used a list control here and a feed list item with a search field on top. If you want to learn about it in detail, watch out my video HANA XSJS programming on Anubhav learning series on my video. Watch out this video, you will get a complete idea. Okay, go through this, you will get an idea. Okay, yet again not relevant for those who are working in ABAP, not at all relevant. But yes, if you want to go deep inside technology, this is future. XSJS is future, guys. Believe me, mark my words, after 3 years you will slowly see people moving to native HANA application development with XSJS to best leverage the power of SAP HANA and remove unnecessary need of an ABAP stack completely out of game, and building complete native application with Fury UX on XSJS to leverage best performance, best in class performance and security on top of SAP HANA DB. This is the future, guys, where we are heading towards. So 5 year back when I started learning ABAP on HANA, nobody used to ask ABAP on HANA, and today it's so overwhelming. In my last demo, I had 55 attendees of my demo on ABAP on HANA. So that's what happens with technology. Suddenly something becomes so important, and suddenly something which is important becomes obsolete. Okay, with that, it's a wrap on today's class. See you tomorrow at the same time. Have a nice day and goodbye.